Good morning. It is really smoky and bad air quality right now in Portland due to all the wildfires here in Oregon and parts of Washington. So I am opting for a cozy day in today, and autumn is one of my favorite times of the year. So I'm gonna spend today kind of dreaming up a little fall bucket list of things I would like to do this fall. I thought it would be fun to share the process of me making this little fall bucket list. I think instead of just having it as a Pinterest board, I really want to do a little watercolor one. And if you're gonna make your own little bucket list, you can of course print out photos, you can do it digitally. This is just the way that I'm gonna be doing it today. And I spent some time this morning browsing Pinterest for some inspiration, and I think I have enough ideas for me to start doing some sketches and start sharing with you some of the items that are going to be on my fall bucket list. So one thing I'm really looking forward to this fall is reading more books, and I think it would be really fun to also just go browse some bookstores. I find hanging out in bookstores to be super cozy and just relaxing, so I think that would be a really fun thing to include in my fall bucket list. I already have a couple of books in mind that I would like to read. I have Coraline and the series of Unfortunate Events books. I've never read the books, I've only seen the movies, so I think that would be fun, and they're like relatively short reads. And then I have this really beautiful Scandinavian book that I really want to read again. I have thumbed through it before, but I think it would be really fun to actually try out some of the recipes in there, and there's lots of information and ideas to make your space a lot more comfortable. And I believe the term is called hygge. It's the idea of making a space really cozy and inviting. In fact, I kind of want to look up what the actual definition is for you, if you have not heard of it. Let's see here. Okay, yes, it is pronounced hygge. It's a Danish and Norwegian word that means a deep sense of cozy comfort, safety, and happy togetherness. It describes a special feeling or mood where you slow down, relax, and enjoy simple pleasures with people you care about or find peace on your own. So I think that is kind of the perfect thing to lead into fall and then into winter here, especially because in the Pacific Northwest we have pretty gloomy long winters, similar to that of like people who live in Scandinavia. And I know that some of these principles really help to stave off the seasonal depression, which I do tend to suffer from. So I'm excited to read through that book more thoroughly and get some ideas on how to make fall and winter super cozy. If you have any recommendations for some books that are fun to read in the fall, then I would love to hear it. I'm really open to any kind of book. I find it's really fun to get recommendations from friends. I actually first got back into reading when I picked up the first ACOTAR book, and then I mailed it to my sister, and then she got super hooked into reading again as well. So it's been really fun to check in with her and see what she's reading and also share what I'm reading. I really love that reading has, I think, become kind of trendy again in terms of just like people loving reading. I think it's a really great escape, especially from a lot of the stresses in our lives and the state of the world. So yeah, I really want to continue my habit of reading this fall. The next category of my fall bucket list is recipes. I have really been loving just cooking from home, especially with how expensive eating out has gotten. And I'm on a bit of a health journey as well, so as much as I can control what I'm eating, I think that is the best. There's something super cozy about trying a new recipe and cooking it from scratch, especially if you like put on some nice music or light some candles. And I really want to lean into that more this fall. So some ideas that I have for recipes are cooking a lot more soups and stews. I really love making green chili stew. That's something I grew up having as a kid in the fall. It's a tradition that my family kind of had every fall because we would go out to New Mexico to get some fresh roasted hatch green chilies and then drive them back to Arizona, and we would make a whole event out of peeling the chilies, bagging them, freezing them, and green chili stew was one of those things that we always made. So that's definitely going to be on my list, but I also would like to try out some new recipes. So I'm going to start saving some fall soup and stew recipes to try. If you have any favorites, be sure to let me know below. Some that I'm really interested in is like a good minestrone soup. I've made that before and it is just so comforting and cozy and pretty healthy as well. And yeah, so I'm excited to do that. I also want to do a bit of fall baking, but I would like to kind of keep it balanced, maybe only make one a week or every couple weeks and just have a small portion of it, so that I can stay healthy as well. But I really want to make pumpkin bread. I would love to do some form of like a fall cheesecake, and then definitely like your standard like cinnamon rolls. I just read a really cozy book that my brother's girlfriend recommended me, which was Legends and Lattes, and basically it is a fantasy book about an orc who gives up adventuring and she decides to open her own coffee shop. And it was just written in a very cozy way. It's very lighthearted, and that book really made me want to make baked goods like scones and cinnamon rolls and biscotti. So those are some things that I would like to make this fall as well, within reason. What else? Warm salads. I've been seeing a lot of those when I was scrolling on Pinterest, and those look really yummy and delicious and healthy. Yeah, so I'm gonna start saving some fall inspired recipes to make, and maybe in future videos I will make some of those with you on camera. I don't know, we'll see. But that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to. Crafting is another category that I have on my bucket list. There is something super relaxing and cozy about making something with your hands. I really have been loving seeing people make their own felt Christmas ornaments. So I think it would be fun to make fall and like Christmassy ornaments, especially if I can maybe thrift the material and just make it out of little scraps. I think that would be really fun. I've also seen people make really cute trinket trays or magnets out of like air dry clay. So I have a bucket of air dry clay, so that's definitely something I could do. Maybe make some watercolor bookmarks since I'll be reading more. I think it would be really sweet to make some handmade greeting cards as well, like be able to send out some holiday cards for the season that were handmade by me. I love puzzles as well. I guess that kind of fits into the craft category, right? I don't know. But anyway, puzzles. I love sitting down and doing a good puzzle. I have been learning to cross stitch, which I talked about in my last video, but I have a little cross stitch kit that I am currently working on. I think crocheting is really fun too, so maybe doing a few little crochet projects. I'm also still kind of learning to sew, so maybe a few sewing projects would be fun as well. But I think I really want to keep it like trying to thrift or use items I already have like as much as possible. So I think that would be kind of a fun challenge. My next category is nature. Fall is one of my favorite seasons, mostly because it's finally cool outside. I am really somebody, I grew up in Arizona, so I am over the heat. Like, I just want it to be below 75 year round if I had it my way. So definitely making some time to go outside and enjoy the beautiful nature. I would love to go to the Japanese gardens here during their peak foliage. I have been when there's like a little bit of the fall colors, and I just love walking through that place. I think it is so peaceful and relaxing. So that's definitely something that'll be on my list this year. I have never been to any of the pumpkin patches out here in Oregon, so I think that would be really fun. I also want to plan to go apple picking again up in Hood River. I did it one fall with my sister, and it was so nice. I really enjoyed it. So I really want to do that, and then maybe I can pick some apples that I will then use in like one of my recipe categories, like maybe an apple pie or an apple crisp. Would be really fun. And what else? I would love to go to the Columbia River Gorge and see the fall colors during that time. I also love going to the Hoyt Arboretum. It is so nice to walk through there, especially when the fall colors are out, and it's a great place to walk the dogs too. So it would be really nice to go on some little nature walks with my dogs. I think that's about it for nature. Obviously, I will be on the lookout for other exciting things to do, but those are just a few that I have in my head. And another category that I have is movies and TV shows. I have never finished all of Gilmore Girls, so I'm definitely going to put that on again this fall. I did watch quite a lot of it last fall, and I'll have to figure out exactly where I left off, but it is such a cozy show, and I definitely want to do that. So maybe putting on Gilmore Girls while I'm doing a craft would be really fun. And then also just like some fall kind of atmosphere type movies. So if you have any suggestions for TV shows or movies that you feel are super cozy in the fall, then let me know in the comments. At home, I guess I talked about this a little bit in like the crafts and the books, but just making my home feel really cozy and inviting. So lots of ambient light and cozy blankets. I have a plethora of cozy blankets, so I do not need to buy more. And I've got throw pillows and things like that too, but just making the space really cozy and comfy. And you know, not using the overhead lights too much, like just make the atmosphere very hygge. I took a little break to make some tea. I just have a few more things to add to the little painted bucket list, but I'm liking how it's coming along so far. I'm waiting for a couple of the layers to dry so I can add a little bit more color to certain areas, but I think it's dry enough so it won't run, but this is how it's looking so far. And I'm thinking of intentionally leaving a little space so that if I think of any other things that I want to add, that there's still room to do that. But this is coming out so cute. I just finished my little fall bucket list, and this is going to be such a cute reminder for me to prioritize making my fall really cozy and happy. So here is the finished little bucket list. I hope that this video was entertaining for you and maybe a little relaxing, and hopefully gave you some ideas for a cozy fall for yourself. If you made yourself a little fall bucket list, I would love to hear some of the things you are looking forward to doing this fall, and I will see you next time.